This is the only video you need to watch about reinvention. This video will be split into 3 sections: before the reinvention, during the reinvention, and after the reinvention. Before I start off with the steps that you need to take to reinvent yourself, you need to understand the layers of behavioral change. There are 3 layers to behavioral change. The outermost layer being the outcomes. So this is the level at which we usually set goals based on the outcomes, like get an A+ in maths. The second layer is processes. This layer focuses on goals based on habits, like solving maths problems every day. And then comes the innermost layer, and that is identity-based goals. This is the deepest layer. In this, your goals are based on changing your beliefs and your self-image. Like, I'm good at maths. It's often easier to change your behavior when it starts from changing your identity rather than changing the outcomes. So now that you have understood the main concept, let's dive into step 1, before the reinvention. Step 1, knowing yourself, or shadow work. In order to create a new version of yourself, you must know who you really are right now, in order to evaluate the gap between where you are and where you want to reach. This you can do by taking a day to observe yourself. What do you do for most of the time in your day? What are the qualities that you feel are self-sabotaging? What are the top 3 qualities that you wish you did not have? What are the 3 top qualities that you love about yourself and do not want to change? How well are your boundaries defined? What are the things that trigger you and why do they get you triggered? How do you handle your anger? And how do you cope with unexpected situations? There are a lot more questions like this. You can look up for shadow work prompts, and you can do a detailed shadow work on yourself. So it basically helps in knowing yourself better, and please make sure you answer these questions as honest as possible, because nobody is going to see your answers. It's just between you and your subconscious. So make sure you are true to yourself. So now that you have a clear picture of what you do not want in your life anymore and what you want to continue, let's move into the next step. Step 2, conduct a funeral. Yes, you have to be this extra. It is serious. It is your life after all. You can't be wasting your life away anymore. Wear all black, wear all white, or whatever your heart pleases, to grieve the loss of your past self and to bring about death on your past self, which took you nowhere closer to what you wanted to become and where you wanted to reach. I want you to let go of these qualities physically. Write them down, tear it, burn it, flush it down your toilet, go full on Jab We Met Geet style. I don't care what you do, but make it clear to yourself that this pattern of behavior is not going to exist anymore in my life. Okay? I know it is extra, but I do not want you to waste a single second of your life anymore being this person that you never wanted to become, but your society or your situations shaped you into becoming. You need to understand that this means you will be letting go of your qualities, of these qualities that you do not like, forever. There is no slow transitions. Today, from the moving second after this funeral that I have conducted, it is going to end. This past self or past version of myself is going to die. Once it's crystal clear in your head that this version of myself is not going to exist anymore, comes the next step. Step 3, the rebirth. What's the first thing you do when a child is born? Name them. Yes, we are tapping into the alter ego effect as well. Now, this name should reflect the type of person that you want to become. So it's not just a random name. It should have a meaning to the kind of qualities that this new version of yourself, this reinvention of yourself, will be having. Let's take myself for example. My alter ego name is Zaha Philistia. So the meaning behind the name is Philistia was the former name of now Palestine or Palestine. Palestine has taught me a lot of things, but one of the most important things that it has taught me is resilience. This is something that I lacked a lot, and I used to easily give up on things, especially when it took a toll on my emotions. So this part of the name to me means resilience. And Zaha means to grow or shine. So for me, the name Zaha Philistine means to grow or shine with resilience. Many celebrities like Beyonce, Eminem, Kobe Bryant also have alter egos while they're performing. Beyonce's alter ego name is Sasha Fierce. So every time she goes on stage, she channels herself to be Sasha Fierce. Eminem's alter ego name is Slim Shady, and Kobe Bryant's alter ego name is the Black Mamba. Now, it's up to you to decide whether you want to step into this alter ego for once and for all, or you want to step into this alter ego during certain situations only. Now that you have named your new identity, write down all the qualities of this new identity in first person present tense, like I am resilient, I am confident, I am not afraid of what I want to get. It is very important for you to write these qualities in first person present tense because you are now identifying as this person. So this person is already you, and you have to write it in first person in order for your brain to know that this is me now. There's this interesting example in the book Atomic Habits where James Clear states that if you're a person who's trying to quit smoking and if a person offers you a cigarette, what would you say? You can either answer, no, I'm trying to quit, or you can answer, no, I'm not a smoker. Which one of these answers do you think will help the person quit the habit in the long term? Yes, it's the answer, I am not a smoker and I don't smoke. So this is the mindset that you need to have. You need to identify as this person before the change has even occurred. So if you are bad at maths and you want to become good at maths, you will say, I am good at maths from now on. If you want to quit smoking, you would say, I'm not a smoker. If you're a person who hates working out but wants to stay fit, from now on you say, I am a fitness enthusiast. What I would advise for you is to get into every little detail, how this new identity is going to be. How is her routine like? How does she dress up? How does she walk? How does she talk? What does she wear? What are her habits? What are her boundaries? I want you to describe her like the ancient poets used to describe their lovers. But don't forget, make it in first person present tense. Step 4. Associate things with this identity. Sometimes it can be very difficult for you to suddenly switch into this alter ego of yours or this new identity. So attaching things that are physically accessible to this identity can make it easier for you. It can be the kind of clothes you wear. So let's say your identity is attached to wearing blazers. So every time you wear a blazer, you switch to this alter ego. Or it could be a color that you wear. So every time you wear, let's say, black, you step into this alter ego. It could be anything. It could be a particular hairstyle. It could be a color of your nail paint. Or it could be an accessory. For me, it's a watch. Not just any watch. There's just this one single watch. And every time I wear it, I just feel unstoppable. So your name, that physically accessible thing, maybe a playlist to uplift your mood, or a quote that stands with you, and every time you remember this new version, that quote should pop up in your head and make you powerful. During the reinvention. Step 5. Mindset. If you don't control this will control you. So here are some steps that can make it easy for you to control this. Step 1. Change your environment. It is very difficult to bring about drastic change when your environment remains the same. It is very easy for you to slip back into old habits and become comfortable when there is no change in your environment. So try to bring in some sort of change. I know it's difficult for everyone to move out of the city and live in a completely new apartment alone and reinvent yourself, because some people live with their parents, just like me. So what do you do then? It can be something as small and insignificant as changing the layout of your furniture, or even easier, changing your wallpaper, changing the color of your clothes, or changing the habits that you usually are very comfortable with. If you were always a night owl, become a morning person. Trust me, this change in your environment will push you to become the new version of yourself. And every time you see yourself getting comfortable, change things again and again and again. Because humans are creatures of recognizing patterns. Because when we disrupt that and change things around, it makes it easier for us to step out of our comfort zones. Tip 2. You get to decide your emotions. This was a game changer for me. You just ask yourself this question: how am I going to allow myself to react to this situation? Am I going to let this one comment ruin my whole day, my whole productivity? Am I going to let this one thing destroy the tremendous effort I have put in changing myself? It's not worth it. And immediately, this little thing that's bothering you, that you want to react to, becomes drastically insignificant. When you decide your emotions, you take away the power from others. Now, the only person that can affect you is you, and that is only if you decide you're going to let yourself get affected. The other person has no say or whatsoever in this. Step 6. convincing others of your new identity. Now, another challenge that you might face during your reinvention is that others still recognize you by your old ways. So during my reinvention, this incident happened with me. I had gone to college with my friends, and this time I was extroverted. I was initiating conversations with acquaintances, and usually I was very introverted, and I actually despised small talks to the core. I was always in the background of the conversations, so my only input was hello and then bye at the end of the conversation. So my friend noticed this and she asked me, Aisha, you seem different. Suddenly you're so outgoing. And my other friend straight up said, why are you so hyper today? And to both of them, I expressed myself that this is how I am nowadays. Like, you don't have to tell them the whole 9 yards, like, I reinvented myself, I also have an alter ego, and I wear this and that. No. Just say, I'm not like that anymore. Or from now on, this is how I will be. It is very important for you to let others know about these changes, because this helps them to erase the image of your past self and now recreate this image of your new identity. Otherwise, if you don't mention it, or they would just think it was a one-day thing and they still have the image of your past. Eventually, these small habits, these small changes that you make will become significantly big, and you will look completely changed. And it doesn't happen overnight, but when you meet your friends after a very long time, they do see these changes as something very huge and as an overnight change. So make sure to let them know that things are changing for the good. Well, you don't have to say the good part because you don't really know who's your well-wisher, but things are changing. That's enough. Step 7. Advantage of beginnings. If you have the opportunity of new beginnings, this is the best time for you to initiate this reinvention. Let's say you're going to a different city or a different country to study or to work, or let's say you're shifting your house, or let's say you're shifting your city, or let's say you are shifting from college life to career. Whatever this change may be, if you're going through a big change, this is the biggest advantage that you can use for yourself during the process of reinvention. It makes it easier because at this point of time, when huge changes in your life come across, your routine automatically changes without you having to force it upon yourself. So this is the best time you can actually reinvent yourself. This is the best time you can reinvent yourself because A, there will be change in your environment, and B, there will be new people in your life, so there will be no old people holding you back with your old ways. After the reinvention. Step 8. Learn to get back up every time you fall. It's not going to be gold and glitter always. Some days are going to be bad. Some days you just lose all your hope, and you may or may not fall back into your slump and get back to your old ways. It is not important to make sure you never fall, because that is inevitable. Take a break and make sure you get back up. But this time, aim higher and push your potential. I hope this reinvention goes successfully for you as it did for me, and I hope this video was informative. I'll see you again in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.